POE's campaign and endgame are divided in a way that gives the illusion of four major game stages: the 10 acts in story, white maps, then yellow maps, and then lastly red maps in the endgame bosses like Maven. Experienced players, however, see the game more like this: a 3-stage leveling phase, and the final stage, which is red maps and bosses, which is the point at which you actually play your current build. Getting through the first 3 stages is a character setup. It's not your actual build, since you can't equip the gear you need, and haven't allocated all the passives yet. Stage 1 is, I call it the wing it stage. It's acts 1 through 5, when you can easily get through just equipping whatever you find on the ground. But if the character is not your league starter, you can also buy yourself equipment to speed things up, like 7 league steps for movement speed or a gold rim helm for res. Stage 2 is when I actually start buying or crafting things on my setup. 1 to 3 C items can give a massive buff. This is when I buy my mid-game weapon and make sure I have 30% movement speed on my shoes. And of course you fix your res from the Act 6 debuff. Mostly you can do this just by bench crafting it onto gear you found on the ground. Stage 3 is mapping. I kind of think of this personally as a continuation of Stage 2, but newer players may need to significantly fix their setup here, because now we have map mods, and we need to fix our res problem a second time. This is when we finish our Uber Lab to Ascend, and we make sure we have all our support gems set up. I really don't see any difference when you're actually playing between white and yellow maps, besides their color. Stage 4 is when we actually work on our build itself. New players can get to Stage 4 no problem, so long as they don't try mixing, spell with attack nodes and they focus on their damage properly. Efficiently getting through red maps at this point, though, requires some farming and low-level crafting or gambles to fund the build itself. That's the problem, is now you run out of money. You find just a couple C as you run, but this starts to get expensive now, because now we're really getting the gear we need that's high-end, that's 6 linked. It's expensive. When I post a build, it's designed for post-endgame content after clearing tier 16 maps, but I often get asked what my leveling tree looked like, or what I did for the leveling phase. This character will be a new build fairly soon, but for now I'm still in the leveling phase, farming up currency so I can flip it to new currency and so on. Most chaos or other drops within Stage 3 of the game are used to upgrade gear on the build as you go, so this is the transition point where I have a setup strong enough for some farming, but still shit overall. This character looks like my very early builds. When I was new to the game, you can make a build like this, think it's a great build, and then all of a sudden you hit a wall on tier 15s, tier 16s. All I did here was I just stacked two-handed weapon nodes, axe nodes, attack speed, a little bit of critical strike chance, etc. A little bit of triple damage. Just logical allocations for Cyclone. It's a basic bitch Cyclone that I'm thinking to try a cast on crit setup, but I'll have to reset basically my entire tree. I'm taking the new Saboteur Scion node for a big area damage buff and for free blind, and pairing it with Juggernaut's endurance charge generation, accuracy rating, and chill and stun immunity. I could buy up or craft a better weapon and really just max out this setup, but I don't think it's creative enough to scale damage in a way that a proper build should. I don't think it'll be uber viable, for example. It could probably take down Elder and Shaper, but if it can't do uber Elder, it's not a great setup. Right now it's just a league starter setup, which was easy to grab with local logical nodes. I'm still using a Thief's Torment even, which is a truly great leveling ring for attack builds, for its life and mana on hit, not on kill. Leech will be better later on. And I recommend this strat for rapid leveling at a league start in general. Don't try to get a 50 Divine build working from the very get-go. Go for synergy with a similar path and skill and convert it later.